Welcome race fans. This is Dan Brown from Trueline Graphics, and I wanted to give an update to the rules for the RC Ohio Speedweek event that's coming up here in the middle of August. So we're just going to quickly recap the rules for 17.5 sprint cars. We have made a change on the rules. We're going to allow open tires now. It just has to be, your standard 2.2 buggy tires. All three tracks are a little bit different, so I think it's actually ideal that we can run open tires. That way you can run whatever you normally run. You know how your cars will run at different tracks. And since we're going from loose dirt to high bite to kind of in the middle between all three, we'll leave it at open tire. Just 2-cell Roar approved batteries. We'll charge them to 8.44 max here at all the tracks. We'll check in on that, make sure everybody's legal. For 17.5 Sprint, we're sticking to the Just Stock system. So the Hobby Wing Z-Run XR10 and the Hobby Wing motor. So it's a cheap class, and it keeps everybody on a pretty level playing field. Jumping over to Mod Sprint, we're adding this class at Magic on Friday because they typically run a 10.5 class, so we're not going to interfere with their points. So they'll still have their 10.5 class that they normally do. And the trophy part of the event will just go towards the Mod Sprint. So we'll run those. We're hoping to get at least a handful of guys show up and run open mod. But it'll be open motor, open tire, the same Roar approved 2S battery. And jumping over to 12 turn, the stock Mud Boss guys, this should be pretty self-explanatory. Pretty much everybody runs the same rules. The only switch for us is at Magic. They have open gear, so you can run any of the Traxxas box stock gears. So I'll just tell you, if you're going to run stock, you probably want a 90 and a 23. That's pretty much what works good for the brushed motor for their size track. Now at Thunder Valley and D&J, so Saturday and Sunday's race, those are fixed gear with 16 pinion and 90 spur. So just be aware of that. And you can run any of the stock Traxxas tires that come on the Slash, whether it's the BFG versions or the Kumos, or even the spec tires, but we do say no S1 compounds just because they're hard to find, and we just stick to that around here in Ohio. So you do have to have the 5200 50C battery, and again, can't go beyond 8.44. For the 13.5 Mud Boss class, we also run a Just Stock system out here in Ohio, the 13.5 Hobby Wing and the Z-Run Just Stock ESC. So that'll keep everything nice and even. For the wheels and the tires, we do have an addition. You're allowed to run the Hot Laps tires that just came out by Proline. You can also run the Banditos if you still have them. But those are the spec tires that we stick to around here, and it makes the racing really good. And all three tracks run the same gear. We run 86 spur, 25 pinion, and it's really good racing. It's usually door-to-door passing, so good stuff. If you want to run a motor fan on the 13.5, you can. Just only one, though. So you won't really need more than that. I personally don't usually run one, and it's fine. So for street stocks, 10-scale off-road buggy chassis, you can run rear or mid motors either way. You are allowed to have adjustable rear arms, and it does help a little bit. And that's open 17.5 motor. Just has to be Roar approved. Same on the battery, Roar approved batteries. And the body, you cannot have it decked. So we are requiring that you have the windows. And worst case, if you don't, well, if you've already got a body and you've only got one, then we'll have to use packing tape or something to seal it up. But we want the body sealed. So we'll do something like that, and then 1-inch spoiler max. For our 17 late models, 17.5 late models, those are with boost. So it's boosted 17.5, open 17.5 motor, open gears, all that. You could run a buggy if you want. Most guys are running cars like the GFRPs and the Rockets. So, but it's a good fun class. They're pretty quick. With the late model bodies, you can deck them if you want, and 2-inch spoiler max height for those. And then your typical 2S shorty packets and open battery for those. So that gives you a quick rundown of the rules, but just understand, so for all three races, these are normal race nights for all three tracks. So the rules, they're going to have other classes running alongside. Just these 6 classes that we have are the ones that are good for trophies. So If you want to run other classes, you can bring other cars too. I know some of the tracks will have things like SC late models. They might even have beginner, novice, or sportsman type classes. So if you've got a Slash and you're new into this, you don't feel like you can't come out and participate, because all 3 tracks will have other stuff. It's just the trophies are only going for these 6 classes. But just to cover the basics of the tracks, all 3 places are very accessible. There's nothing too crazy. On Saturday at Rogers' place at Thunder Valley, it's basically his backyard. But you can still get a trailer in there. As far as power, you definitely want to bring extension cords, 50 to 100 foot. But I don't think there's ever been a case where we couldn't find a way to get power to somebody. Usually we make it work. There's porta-johns at all 3 tracks. I was also told by the track owners that, worst case scenario, if it just gets really late one night and you don't want to drive to a hotel and you just want to camp out and sleep in your car, or if you got a trailer, put a mat out, or maybe you can even go sleep out in the yard if you want. Those are options. You can hang out and camp out if you have to. People have asked where would a good spot be if you're going to get a hotel somewhere. And probably my advice would be either Worcester or Orville, somewhere in there, which those are both really close to D&J on Sunday, but they're also like 45 minutes to an hour from Magic and Thunder Valley, so it's kind of in the middle. Somewhere off of that Route 30 area would be good, but I can't specifically recommend any hotels. The stuff that's out here is kind of country, so it's not real city-like. But I don't think you're going to have any really bad hotel experiences for the most part. If anybody has any other questions, by all means, reach out, especially when it comes to rules. If there's something you're not sure on, ask before you get here. The good news is Magic is a fully stocked hobby shop. They've got pretty much everything you could want and more, so they'll have you covered for parts on Friday. And then Saturday at Rogers, I know most of us will have parts. Some people even have parts in their trailer. And then Sunday at Cody's at D&J, I know he's got a nice parts trailer full of batteries, tires, all kinds of fun stuff. So whatever you want, I'm sure some of us racers can help you get what you need. But just try to read the rules and know what you're bringing with you, and ask questions before you get here if you have any. So we're about a month away, so we hope if you're not considering coming out that maybe you will. And even if you don't race in your local, just come out and check it out. But we hope to see everybody there. We'll be giving out trophies and awards for all the events for all 6 of the main headline classes. And then on Sunday, weather permitting, hopefully we get everything in and we have no issues. But Sunday, whoever wins the overall points out of all 3 nights will get a trophy for first place as well. So in addition to the other stuff. We have some door prize giveaways that were donated by some of our sponsors. So we want to thank PRP Tire Preps, KHD, George McCauley, Becky, and Ross over at McAllister, D&J Speed Shop, HRC, and Coy Brothers for all giving us some stuff that we can use for giveaways at all 3 events. And Trueline Graphics is obviously the headline sponsor, so we'll be giving out a lot of stuff too. And we'll have raffle tickets, so when you pay your entry fee, you'll get raffle tickets, and at some point in the night, we'll call up those numbers and make sure people are taking some good stuff home. So we appreciate the sponsors that makes events like this possible, and we thank all of the track owners too for agreeing to all this. And it's kind of crazy running 3 races back to back to back. So hopefully people are coming with the idea of having fun. We're just racing for trophies and we're playing with toy cars, so we are just trying to have fun, and that's our goal here at all 3 events. So we hope to have some really good racing. Obviously, we want competitive racing, but at the end of the day, again, we're playing with toys. So let's try to all have fun and be adults about it. And we'll have a good time, so come out and we'll eat some food and play with some toys.